you see my internet drop out, let me know. It seems stable, but I have concerns.
That's okay. My computer crashes. I'll be back shortly. Don't worry.
I'm running 5G, but I had to shut the door, and it's a hot box over here, so I got the fan on me. So I'm sure I'll be dripping. And then for some reason like I said, the guys keep bringing me in teas. If they do, they get incentive bonuses with tea and stuff, and it's nice that they include me. But I'm like going, you guys got to quit giving me this tea, man. It's like it's because it's the sugary. I'm like, it's making me fat. I can't do it. Don't give me the tea. They're all like in their 20s, so anything they eat just burns right off.
Right.
You know, I look at something at my age, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be 10 pounds right there, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I got a couple decades on you both. I understand.
It's like Will's there, just got to turn the camera on. Yeah, we're rolling on the live. We're everywhere. Right when I asked that question, she vanished. I was like, yeah, so I guess we are live. So yeah, let's, nothing like that. Introduction, stuff like that. We'll let a couple eyeballs get in. They always kind of filter in. But yeah, welcome to yet another Yarbo live roundtable. We enjoy doing these. Try to bring you some different users out there. Some of our product pioneer users. Just people with Yarbos, people that are testing them out for us, having some fun. And then always we have one of our co-founders here, Ken Coleman. You guys saw we were together on Friday for the live.
Yep.
So yeah, and then I don't know, Ken, how'd you feel about Friday, man? Was that fun for you?
It's always fun. Yeah, it's always fun for sure. I love getting the questions, and some people bring up some ideas. It's fun. Different though than this. This is a little more interactive, I think. So I like these maybe a little bit more than the regular lives.
Yeah, it was funny. I was telling Kathy earlier. I was like, I had the best trip. I flew out there, everything was fine. Flew back, everything perfect. Text my wife. I was like, this is the first time in forever that I've had 2 flights that were just perfect. Like, got there, left on time, got there early, and no sooner as I'd send that text, they stranded me on the runway, on the runway, off the side, in holding for an hour and a half, and I was like,
fun.
I was like, why did I send that text? Yeah, hey, just to make sure, Will, is your audio and everything is up here?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't see you though. Did you want to be seen or no?
Yeah, my camera all of a sudden stopped working after I tested it this morning just fine. I'm going to switch to a cell phone camera, so give me a sec.
Yeah,
sure. Take your time.
Gotta love technology.
Yeah.
Just go to the Yarbo app and take it. Just use the Yarbo cameras.
That means going outside where it's not air conditioned.
Yeah, we got a good break here, but I've been telling this building, in the surrounding areas around here, that there's a lot of trees that needed to be trimmed up. When I'm out doing the live, sometimes I'll see something or something. I'll be like, because they're older trees, but I guess with the village here, for every 2 centimeters that you cut down, you have to plant a new tree. So that's what the guys were telling me. So it's not like you can just go cut down a tree. And well, the other day, it was late Saturday afternoon. We had and where I live too, a microburst that came through here. It was a storm on most ends, but then it was like a micro burst, and it ripped the whole ceiling off, or a whole roof off of a apartment complex. But also here, I came in this morning and they were out there with chainsaws clearing everything. So luckily I'm not out doing a live today, because you guys would hear a lot of chainsaws and a lot of wood being split and stuff like that. So yeah. It was crazy, but yeah. Okay, well, while Will's trying to get that fixed, let's just get into the live stream a little bit. We are joined by a couple of our product pioneers, a couple of Yarbo users. You see Mr. Kent Ross up there in the corner. Kent, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what Yarbos you're using, and some of your recent fun stuff with testing out some of the Lawnmower Pro, without giving away too much inside baseball, you know?
Understood. Yeah, hi, I'm Kent Ross. I live in central New York near Syracuse, New York. And I got into Yarbo back when they had their Kickstarter back in the fall of 22. So I'm Kickstarter backer, I think number 40. So I'm one of the older folks out there, I guess, for the Yarbo. I've got the old 2023 still with the 4-in-1 package, as well as the new 2024 4-in-1 package, and I use them both. I've got about 7 acres of land. 2 of it is lawn, 5 of it is woods. I've got 4,500 square feet of driveway to clear in the winter with a big turnaround loop, so it's a little bit more complex. And then about 1.5 acres of mowable lawn. So I use both systems and love them very much. I'm also a PPP member, so yeah, like you hinted, I've got the Pro and the trimmer as well.
Yeah, we'll get into that, some of that, because we'd like to hear some of your experience with that as the live stream continues on here. And Will, yeah, sorry, you came in a little bit. I didn't get a chance to hear about where you're from. Why don't you tell everybody, where you're from and what you're using, as far as Yarbo, and how long have you been in the Yarbo community?
Sure. I live in Pennsylvania, and I bought the Yarbo end of 2024. Was able to, again, also join up with the PPP group and been able to enjoy some of the testing. We had a decent winter, so it was nice having the snowblower, able to take care of my driveway and a couple of the neighbors throughout the winter. And I have the mower, the standard mower, and the leaf blower. And overall I have about 1.2 acres I'm taking care of. Pretty complex with some hills and some testing that I like to put it through with the terrain we have here. And it's been really fun being part of this group, and it's been great having Yarbo to take care of all the things I don't like to do.
Yeah, that's what it's really all about. Guys like you that have the big yards and want some of their free time back. That's kind of what Yarbo brings to the table. It's nice to know too that you guys both you're experiencing all the seasons. You get all the weather, so you really get the full, encompassing just experience with Yarbo. As far as the snowblower, leaf blower, lawn mower, and then some of the other things. So yeah, so welcome guys. Appreciate you coming in there. And before I get to Ken real quick, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you tune in, leave your comments. We'll get to them at the end. We're going to have a little Q&A. And then somebody put this on my desk. So this is one of our little mini model Yarbos right here. This is obviously the core here with a SAM module on the front. At the end of this live stream, we're going to pick a winner, and somebody will win this thing. So here's your mini Yarbo. I want to let you know. That way, we want you to kind of stay tuned and be involved. So leave a comment, and then we'll just randomly pick a winner at the end. And then we'll get this shipped out to you, the mini Yarbo, which is really cool. I love these things. They're fun. I got a couple on my desk too. I got the snowblower right here. So it's always fun. Always fun. That keeps you reminded of winter's right around the corner. So Friday we kind of touched on it briefly when I was out in New York talking to Ken, and we were on the live stream, and we talked about the new Yarbo 5-year pledge. And you guys are all kind of, I won't make Ken introduce himself like 100 times. I know you guys have, unless you want to go in your long introduction, Ken, but I think everybody in the Yarbo community, I think everybody in the Yarbo community at this point knows who you are, but yeah, Ken Coleman, one of the co-founders. So yeah, you guys are all kind of in the same area there. We got New York State, we got Long Island and Pennsylvania over there. So you're definitely getting that East Coast weather over there. So Ken, so while we're at it, let's go back and touch on the Yarbo 5-year pledge. Just explain maybe the eligibility and what it's all about.
Yeah, sure. So we kind of took a look at the industry, and kind of saw and tried to gauge what the norm was in the industry. And some manufacturers offer 1 year on autonomous robots, some offer 2 years. Some offer, a year. You can extend to 3. That's really the major ones we're aware of, because autonomous lawnmowers, well, really, there's only autonomous lawnmowers as we relate to other manufacturers, right? So there's no other snow blowers or mowers or trimmers, but we know that it's a significant investment, and we know that people also are concerned about how long will it be supported for, not only through hardware but software as well. So we wanted to do something special, so we came up with this 5-year pledge, which basically you have the opportunity, if you're the first 500 orders from really now until I think it's August 28th, but we'll probably go through those 500 orders, well before then. But if you order, you can get a free 5-year warranty. So that's a big deal. It's peace of mind for the customer. A lot of manufacturers, after that 2 years, that's basically it, because they phase out their old model and they don't support, that 2-year-old model anymore. And I mean, to a degree, I can understand why some of them do that, because they want to, move with newer technology and whatnot. But we can still support our legacy customers that have, the 2024 model while, still moving forward as a company. And we don't want anyone to feel like they're left behind either. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned that too, with some, like, we don't want some of our current users to feel left behind too. So there's always some things in the works as far as like that goes as well too, right? Like I'm like, I know we talked about that. Yeah. So we don't want people to think we're not taking care of our regular users or anything like that. That's not the case at all. So.
No, right. So, and because of actually just the way warranties work, we weren't able to work with a company to offer the extra 3-year warranty that comes with like accidental coverage and shipping and things like that by a third party. They just won't do it. So we decided we're going to do it ourselves and offer a Yarbo Care plan to our users of the 2024 model. None of them are close to coming up under warranty, but we want to make sure that we have a plan in place. So we went ahead and we sent out a survey to all of those customers to see who would be interested in a warranty or Yarbo Care plan, and what type of elements would they be interested in, right? Replacement parts, repair, service, all of it, consumables, that type of thing.
Yeah, and that's a bumper to bumper. You said warranty, I believe. I know we talked about that too. So there's definitely a shipping component to that too. If the Yarbo gets damaged in shipping, it's going to be covered by the new warranty. And obviously somebody's coming in the door, like, trying to do a live stream here, guys. No, but yeah.
Just keeping you on your toes.
Never mind me. Yeah. Okay, so that kind of touches on the warranty. Is there, like I was going to say when it comes to that, it was like, so that's new users right now, up to 500 Yarbos, but you have to also, that means you have to buy the core as well. So just want everybody to know.
Yeah,
that
correct.
So that's
so basically it's on any single order they put through. So if they buy a 4-in-1, the core unit and all of their modules will be covered. If they buy, the core unit 2-in-1 with the, maybe the Pro or the regular mower and the snowblower, covered for sure.
Cool. Yeah. And I think, it was up to 500 units. So once those are sold, then that's it. Hey, there you go, Will. I can see you now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. All right. Now we're officially, I felt like we just weren't officially all, I didn't feel like it was an official roundtable. So now I definitely feel like it's an official roundtable. And then reminder, put your comments in. We'll do a Q&A when we get towards the end. You can visit yarbo.com too. You can watch there. You can watch on YouTube, and you can watch on Facebook. And at the end, one lucky winner is going to get this little Yarbo Mini right here, little 3D model Mini. They're really cool. So yeah. So now that we have everyone on camera, let's go up to Kent here, since you were here first, just by order of who entered the room first. Why don't you explain just to us, how did you hear about Yarbo? What was your background before? Are you a tech guy, or, how did you come about to get into the autonomous robotic yard tool phase of your life?
Sure. Well, I've always been a geek. I love computer systems. I worked for Lockheed Martin and then Cornell University as a computer geek. I'm now retired. Electronics are in my blood, and I do a lot of 3D printing and things as a hobby. And behind me in the wall, there's all kinds of radio controlled airplanes hung up, if you see those blurs. And I saw Yarbo in the fall of 22, I think on Facebook, and the idea just caught my attention. I've got a sizable driveway that I get tired of clearing, and we get reasonable snowfall, but getting out there every day can be frustrating. I've got an acre and a half of mowable grass, and I really, really hate mowing the middle of the backyard because it's on a wicked hill, and my ZTR mower will slide out from under me mowing that hill, and just getting beat down by the sun mowing that section. And so what it promised was really, really tempting to me. And so I talked it over with my wife, and we found how we could afford it and decided to do it. So I joined with the Kickstarter, and I've been on the ride ever since. And I mean, it's a great device. It's not perfect, but Yarb was working hard to improve it and get it to what they want it to be. And I'm thrilled to be on the ride with you guys. I love my Yarbo.
What was your it's good to hear. We're happy to have you around. What was your first like setup experience like?
Well, that's going back to the 23. I received it in the fall. And at that point, I had been helping a little bit with some of the documentation, just getting things, polished. And setup was pretty easy. I had the blower first. The mower was not yet available. And so I had the snow blower, and I was busy working on the mapping, trying to get things perfect and getting the communication working well. At that point, the 23 wasn't using Halo. It was using long range. And Yarbo saw that Halo would do better, and in the revamp for the 24, switched it over to Halo. And they also converted people like me that had the 23s in operation away from the old LoRa over to the new Halo. It was a very good improvement. So setup was pretty easy, just like with the 24. It was a bit more complex in that you had to join the networks manually, where the 24, the Halo data center is already paired to the core. So they've done things like that to simplify. But in general, it wasn't too bad. The worst part was finding the right spot for my charging base. Where I wanted to put it, below a pine tree, not so good. So I had to move it around 2 or 3 times to find the appropriate spot.
Yeah, I've had to move mine sometimes for cosmetic reasons where my wife was like, I want that patio back, or, definitely like, and my yard's fenced in. So I think like come winter time, I'll probably have to move the docking station somewhere that's, where that way the Yarbo is not cutting through, and I don't have to keep the door open to the fence. It could just go out. So I'll probably move that setup, which is not, it's fun. I mean, especially like with like an acre and a half, how many like zones have you mapped out? A lot of different things? Or are you still?
Yeah, I've got, I think, 7 different mowing zones. And for the driveway with 4,500 square feet, I've got that chopped up into 4 different zones. Doing it all in one big zone is tempting, but it's, in my experience, easier to have smaller zones that fit better into a single battery charge or 2 battery charges. And that's how I prefer to do it.
How were you cutting your grass before? Have you been in the robotic lawnmower business like for a while now, or did you have an old 0-point tractor, or what were you doing before? Or
I had the old Robomo 500 series that I used at our previous home, but it's only good for a very small postage stamp backyard, and it runs like the really old Roombas, just random, no logic to it.
Yeah.
For a little tiny backyard, 50 feet by 75 feet, it was fun and it did a good job. But we moved to this house here with a lot more land. I was using a 42-inch Cub Cadet 0-turn, and love that machine. It's great, but the back end slides out from under me in some of my hills, and I just hate mowing out in the middle of the big open in the sun. So my second robot, I went big, got the Yarbo, and I'm pleased.
Okay, yeah, sorry. People coming in the door still. I'm gonna have to yeah. Like I need to get one of those live on air signs. And just the lights, that turn red. That way people know I'm live on the air. But yeah, no, it's funny.
Check Amazon.
They're all sweet kids, everybody cut. So you have been, I don't know what you can say and what you can't say. So I know you've been testing out some of the as a product pioneer too, you've been testing out some of the just like I have been testing out the Pro for about a month and a half, maybe even longer now. It definitely has its pros, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely has like it's a little different experience though, right? Like you've seen a little bit different of an experience. You said.
Yes, the Pro to start with is a very nice mower. It has a lot more motor power wattage than the standard mower, and I believe it will be coming with both the the metal cutting blades, and I believe it might also be coming with the cutting discs that take the razor blades. And I've been testing it with the metal cutting blades exclusively, and it does a good job. Um, it will do lightweight mulching of dense leaves. It gives a beautiful cut. Here in New York State, we've been in a drought for about 3 to 4 weeks. Everything is brown and dry. Yeah. So I'm holding off and not mowing. I've not, I hadn't mowed for probably a month before the Pro arrived. I was saving what I had for testing the Pro. And so, the grass has grown a little bit, but the weeds have shot up 6, 8, 10, 12-inch weeds sticking up out of the lawn. And they make an excellent test bed for the Pro with the metal blades on it. And it's doing a great job knocking those down where the cutting discs with the razor blades, you'd have to go over it a couple times to get them all. And I'm impressed with it. It's a good deck. It's, I would say, not much louder, maybe just a fraction of a decibel louder than the regular mower. But when that thing starts, you could hear it's got power in the startup. It sounds very different in the startup. So I think it's going to make a good upgrade if you're looking for a little bit more torque, a little more power.
And you said you also got a chance to test out the trimmer.
Yes, correct.
So were you one of you were one of the lucky people that actually got to test it out and then give your feedback. Some of those that's the kind of feedback we got. So then that's where the small but the subtle but big changes were now in the new model of the trimmer and why things were changed up a little bit.
Yep. I'm one of the people that probably owes an apology to the buying community of the trimmer. And I feel Yarbo did exactly the right thing by slowing down on the product and making these changes that I and others recommended, just so the customers will get the best product possible from Yarbo. And so the changes are good moves. I mean, the ball on the bottom to help prevent scalping, and the changes you're making in the logic, good move.
Have you had to contact Yarbo support team at all during your run of using Yarbo at all?
Oh, sure. I'm an early adopter and I'm a tester. So I'm one of those guys that's deliberately breaking things unintentionally and then working with you guys to figure it out and get it fixed. And I also enjoy that a lot. So I get frustrated like anybody else does when something goes wrong.
Sure.
But then I dig into it, try to understand why, work with you guys to try to learn, because I make mistakes. Sometimes it's a Kent problem. It's not a Yarbo problem.
Yeah.
And so go from there.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I mean, it's definitely with setup and everything like that, you can avoid kind of a lot of the GPS type of issues, as for not all, but most of them, and then I know Ken has talked about that too. Somebody said I was going to test it. I don't know if the new stuff, some of the Dead Reckoning stuff. So we'll be doing some live streams with that too, testing that out.
Yep.
As far as that goes with the, it's still working with the loss of a GPS signal. Like I always tell people, I feel like this technology, everything's moving at such a rapid pace now, and it's like it's going so fast, and it's like it's just it's like a whirlwind sometimes with like going, okay, this is where we're at 2 years ago in a Kickstarter campaign, and then now actual, just these physical models that are out, and then the new things that are out, like a trimmer, a lawnmower, like just the things that are coming out and the excitement. I think everybody think everybody feels pretty pumped about that. But we love that you gave, you guys all real world users gave that advice, and we kind of put the brakes on something real quick and say, let's just tweak it a little bit. Let's
Right.
tweak this, make it better for everyone else. And I think Yarbo does a really good job of that, as far as like with the user feedback and stuff like that. I'm interested to see what the final Lawnmower Pro looks like after we've beat up the prototypes of the Pro and gave our feedback and said, this is good, this is what works, this could be better, this could be, but yeah, I'd be interested to too. I have yet to put the discs on the Pro either, so I'd be interested to see what kind of, if that, then that'll just trigger more of a micro mulching as opposed to, like you talked about that with the Pro, maybe a little bit, generate a little bit more of that micro mulching with the razor blades and stuff like that. So I'd be interested to do that as well.
Sure. Since you mentioned the discs, I'd like to just throw out quickly, I did test those discs on the regular lawnmower. They were sent to me as a test, I think, to verify that the design was improved. So I used those new cutting discs with razor blades on my regular 24 mower for months, and they are bulletproof. I've deliberately mowed through sticks and pine cones at a 2-inch depth and launching pine cones everywhere. Those discs do not crack. So the cutting discs that are available for the Pro are a vast improvement.
Well, that's great. We like to hear that. So yeah, hey, there you go. Sounds like you're getting into a little bit of trouble with it too. So that's awesome, man. We like that, pushing things to the boundaries and everything like that. Like, that's good, man. That's good.
That's why we test.
That's how we learn. And
Yep.
Yes. Well, thanks, Kent, man. Appreciate that. I'll let you catch your breath for a minute, and we'll go over to Will here. He's been sitting there patiently. Nice, man. Hey, Will, why don't you just briefly just kind of describe what I know you said you had about 1.2 acres. You're in Pennsylvania. What kind of yard describe your yard a little bit. What kind of challenges and what's your Yarbo encountering on a daily basis?
Sure. Actually, so we live in a neighborhood, got a couple neighbors that have had some health problems. So the last couple of years, been helping them with their lawns. And actually, my neighbor next to us, they've got the worst hills. And I last year was using the riding mower, just a John Deere riding mower to take care of 3 lawns, including my own. And it was kind of like what you were saying, Kent, sliding down hills when you're trying to get through certain spots and get them mowed. And I ended up, the Yarbo had a track issue, and I had to jump on and use the tractor for a couple weeks. And I just kept thinking, oh man, this is no fun at all. But having the Yarbo, to handle those hills, I feel so much better that I don't have to deal with that. But there's a lot of interesting terrain, and I feel like that was the challenge with setup is, okay, Yarbo can map this area out and get stuck. So how do I deal with it? So I think a lot of people need to understand, you have to look at things and take a step back and see if it gets stuck. Okay, how can you adjust the pattern? The thing I love about the app is you have so many options. With Yarbo being so versatile with all the modules, then going in the app and just being able to tweak all the settings, that just makes things easier. I realize there's lots of people that's overwhelming to them, but I try to tell people, like, just be patient, try to get some perspective and see how you can tweak it a little bit. That is something, like you, Kent, I enjoy doing. I'm a gadget enthusiast. I'm a software developer. I love technology, and I do have a lot of patience for that kind of thing. But yeah, we have lots of hills, lots of rough terrain in some areas, and then I try to keep my front yard looking nice. So I think the great thing is I can kind of beat up the back, and it's not as big a deal, but then I can get pristine lines out front, and that's kind of the showcase area. But then I have neighbors across the street, and realize that I can map them out too, and then I manually can drive it over, have their yard mowed, and Yarbo just says, hey, I can't get back to the dock. I go out and I drive it back. So it's just nice having so many options. And I've definitely got some thankful neighbors as a result of that. Snow blowing, we have a decent but very flat, manageable driveway. But the same thing, I can just I work from home, so I can start it up in the morning and send it out and do that snow blowing, and then again easily drive it up and take care of the neighbor's driveway there. So it's just been so nice having it handle stuff, especially while I've got so many other things going on in life.
So you just have so you have each. You don't have a pathway between your neighbor. You haven't created a pathway to your neighbor's house, but you have each individual, their yards are each mapped out for you then?
For the one, yes. The one across the street. Actually, I did have a pathway until somebody from Yarbo that I was talking to about it suggested, hey, just take the pathway and then you have the way to handle it. Because there was a time where I was watching it and I realized it had gone back to the docking station all on its own, and assuming nobody was driving by at that opportunity when it's crossing, a neighborhood street. It's not super busy, but still wasn't ideal.
Yeah, that gets a little dangerous. I live in a neighborhood too, so it's like I not only is like I just most people aren't ready for this technology yet mentally when they see it. So
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of you get a lot of even when I'm out here doing the live streams every day, there's not a day where somebody isn't just almost breaking all the way to slow down to see what's this going on, just I imagine, how often do you see it? I think maybe in 10 years everybody will be like, oh, that's just Will's lawnmower, or Fred's down the street, that's his lawnmower, it won't be but right now it's still, yeah, nobody's looking out for all the robots at this moment. I don't understand because I live in Chicago, so we have those food service robots now. That they'll put the food in, and the food delivers. I'm like, that blows my mind. I'm like, how is that how is that a thing now? This is autonomous, food delivery cart thing. And I'm like, I don't know how it maneuvers the streets and how it's obviously all this technology. I'm like, this is crazy. So I think in about 10 years from now, we're all just going to be looking at, we'll just probably be high-fiving robots when they drive by or something, it'll just be like that. So how long have you been using a Yarbo then, Will? When did you come by? I think maybe you said the end of 2024 was when you started at the beginning. So you've actually put it through some seasons now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, 2022, I had my first yard robot, but it failed to make it beyond a year. And after I got through that and realized how fantastic it was, despite the hiccups that I went through and the frustration of having it die, I had said, oh, I can't go through this again. But then after sitting on the lawnmower for a couple hours, I was like, all right, I got to find something new. So 2024 early on, I was looking for, the next solution and comparing the ones out there. And that's when I came across Yarbo. So I had decided throughout the summer of last year, I need to order this, and, was able to get that pre-ordered. And I think the core showed up in October of last year, and the snowblower. So I was able to use it throughout the whole winter.
And you say you have a background in tech, so how did you find the setup? Did you find it difficult? Did you find it, was there some challenges, or was it pretty straightforward for you?
I found it easy. I definitely poured through everything that there was about Yarbo. Jumped on the forums. I was on some of the teams meetings with ask the questions, and I was in there asking what about this, what about that. Joined every Facebook group there was, so I had prepared myself to be able to set it up. So adding the data center seemed easy. I think I moved the dock twice. And then, I felt like it was easy and intuitive, but my wife is as far from technical as I am technical. So I usually try to bounce things off of her and ask her hey, what do you think of this whenever I'm giving advice to somebody else? So I've done a couple of host sessions with people local to me, and just trying to give them hey, set expectations here, consider this, consider that, and try to give them. But I personally found it pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and since you are technical, is there ever a time when you're looking out at the Yarbo and you just go like, man, I wish it could do this, or I wish like how we have attachments or anything like that. Is there anything like technically your brain doesn't look at anything ever and go like, man, if only Yarbo did this for me, that would like like on a creation side of things. Is there anything like you'd like to see like on that side of things?
Sometimes, but I find that that's the amazing thing I think about Yarbo as a company is they take the feedback, and so I'll try to search on the forums or on Facebook, for the latest things that people are suggesting or something that I've looked for, and often somebody's already asked for it, so it'll be hey, I like that idea, and
Yeah.
I'm just always amazed that Yarbo listens so much to the users, and while you can't implement everything all at once. You can see the roadmap progression over the last year, and you can tell that this company is going to continue to implement things that are helpful to us, and that's the thing that I love.
Cool. Well, thanks, Will, man. Appreciate it. We're going to get into a more of a roundtable discussion, so Ken can get involved in this as well as we move on. Just want to remind everybody, put your questions, comments, everything fun like that. Put it in the leave a comment. We're going to draw a winner at the end. The winner will get this free mini Yarbo. So it's with the core. So it's Yarbo Core Mini. This will not cut your grass. This will not do anything like that. So I don't want you sitting back thinking like oh, I just want a mini one. Yeah, no. So yeah, it's like it's like a model. I don't know what was the scale on it. I'm sure Ken, but whatever scale. It's I'm always horrible at that. I'm like, I don't know, it's like 100 times small. I don't know, like, and somebody's like 4. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. When it comes to scale, like I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. It's like 10 times. So yeah. Well, guys, as we anyone can kind of chime in here, as we progress with the oh yeah, once again, just let me say this. About the 5-year warranty thing. We talked about that on Friday. You're going to want to get in because that's limited to 500 units. I know quite a bit have already gone off the shelf and already sold. So that 5-year warranty is limited. So to the first 500 orders, that's with the Yarbo core plus your attachments, modules, so be it. So just want to remind you guys that since we're doing that, that's really, I believe it was supposed to August 15th to August 31st, but Ken talked about it, like probably not going to make it that long. So, you're going to want to jump on that if you want that 5-year Yarbo Care plan for absolutely free. So yeah, that's 5 years of peace of mind. You can't beat that. So now that I've given my pitch, now we can move into the roundtable discussion. I think we kind of talked about this though, but I don't know if you did. What kind of driveway do you have? Do you have just regular asphalt driveway, concrete driveway? And how much, how long, how's Yarbo done with that? With the 2-stage
Sure.
snowblower.
Yeah, it's a regular asphalt driveway, very smooth. My entire lot has a substantial hill to it. From front yard to back, it's about a 60-foot change in elevation downhill, and that includes the driveway. So it's smooth asphalt, about 4,500 square feet. Both the 23 and the 24 have done really well in keeping it clear. One lesson that I've learned is I plan to take the studs off of the 24 for this coming season. There are some scratches in the asphalt from it, but you'll want those studs for many other driveways. But the 23 without them did very well. The traction's still very good without the studs.
Yeah, I think like that. Yeah, or like I don't know if we have it in the works, but like you could even do like some sort of like maybe like a softer material, like a little bit than the steel. But I noticed that with like the 0-point turns here and there, like you definitely watch out with the 0-point turns. Anything that had happened on mine was gone by the now. I need to get my driveway resealed anyway, so I'm in that.
Yep.
I'm in that that asphalt's got to be resealed, and I've been putting it off all summer, and I'm like going, you know what, man? Why didn't I get it at the beginning so I can at least look at it all summer? You know what I'm saying? Like a nice, because I'm gonna get it now, and then we're gonna be buried in snow pretty soon, and so nobody gets it. But obviously the aesthetics of it don't last forever anyway. So, and then guys, as far as your property goes, how like Do you guys have a lot of? I know up in that area, there's a lot of trees and everything like that. Do you have a lot of trees? Is your Yarbo navigating a lot of different terrain? When it comes to your property.
You want to go
Either
first,
one,
Will?
anyone. Yeah,
Sure. In most of my yard, it's fairly open, but it's the edges where some of them are backing onto forest. And actually, I'm in one of the groups testing the Dead Reckoning. So initially, the settings were okay. Dead Reckoning kicks in for so many feet, and it would get stuck. So was able to adjust that to a longer distance. And there's like one spot where I'm still getting a little trouble with, and I'm fiddling with the settings a little bit. But yeah, at the back of the yard, that tree cover, GPS gets real low, but then it's able to traverse that terrain, and don't have any issues there.
Okay. How about you, Kent?
Yeah, I've got a lot of decorative pear trees all around the front of our house, the driveway, and there are a couple corners where I always will get it. It'll stop on me with like a status 5, I think, and you got to move it a few feet for it to regain the signal, and off it goes. With the Dead Reckoning changes, it's not getting stuck in those spots. So for me, the Dead Reckoning code, I believe, is helping. And good change. I'm very glad you guys did that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the first step. It's like our 1.0 version, right? We probably have, well, a 2.0 very close to that, and then a third phase as well. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to the progression on that for sure. You guys have been a huge help, in helping us.
Yeah, I'm interested to test that out, but yeah, I kind of have the same issues in my yard as I'm in more of an urban environment. So when I have send the Yarbo up, but I mean, I have an apartment complex here. I got a big house here with trees. I got my house and then another house. So it's like, but honestly, there's only one little teeny spot by the fence where like it'll stop for a minute and I'll just maybe move it a foot back or a foot forward, catches a signal, it goes back out, so it's not at the end of the world. Your app always lets you know like something's going on, as far as that, when it goes. But yeah, so I'm interested to see how the Dead Reckoning then, I think it'll clear up any issue that I have going on in the yard, as far as that goes. So I'm excited. I didn't know you guys were. That's great that you guys are already out testing it. And that's the great, like I said, that's always the great thing about Yarbo is that real world testing, just to get things in the hands of guys like you who do have some tech background, who do have the exact yards we're looking for, the exact driveways our Yarbo users are looking for. So it's good to get it in your hands. Did you get a chance to test out the trimmer too, or were you on that program too, or?
The next version I know I'm on the list for, but not the first one.
Okay. Oh, you get the great one then. So
I get the upgrade.
You get the upgrade. Yeah. You're like, I'll let you guys test this one out. Call me when the finished product comes out. Let me see what it says here. Sorry, I'm going through the questions here. Not the Q&A questions yet. We're not going to do those. We'll do those at the end. So leave your comments. So based on guys, your experience, what is some of the, like, you guys can both do this, take turns, but what is some of the best advice you could give? I see it every day. People are like, I got it in the cart, I'm ready to go. Like, what is some of the best advice to new users when it comes to Yarbo, and just getting into this robotic field, what is some of the best advice you can give to some of the new users?
I think one thing is the hardest part is probably the installation of the data center. Is getting it up high is a good move, and having it within range to plug it into your data center, getting the cable routed. That's about the hardest part. Everything else is simple. Will's right. It's not that hard. That's the toughest part. What else do you think, Will?
I would say be patient, especially with the mapping. And if you get stuck, the support group is one great means to get some help, but also collaborate with other users, and even our weekly PPP session where you can ask the experts. I'm constantly asking the other guys in our group for advice with things. So I know users who don't have the tech experience. That's a great option to say you can actually get on there, talk, and say, this is my scenario, and somebody can help you out with that.
And Ken, when it comes to sorry, oh yeah, go ahead, Ken. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Touch on. I just thought about the mapping. I remember at first, remapping is such a chore, and I didn't want to do it. And the more you get used to the app, it just becomes so easy, so second nature. I mean, I've made dumb mistakes. I think a lot of us have accidentally gone and deleted a zone by accident. And fortunately, now there's backups. You can restore from the backups. But just to recreate a zone, it's not that hard. And so mapping becomes something you get good at with time and experience. And so we remap to improve what we're doing.
I got a lot of different areas, and I mean, not only do you map for area wise, but you can map and change the cuts or change.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is this day, this time of year, I have this area mapped out for August. I have this area mapped out for July.
Right.
Sometimes we leave our grass shorter, higher, depending on, you could have several different maps, as far as, when it comes to seasons. Like I was out there the other day just mapping out a leaf blower. It was working autonomously. So I had the leaf blower on. I realized because I have a different unit here now, and we're constantly moving the data center, because we're in an office area, so it's not like I can't just mount it and leave it, and I'm definitely not getting on this roof of this building. So it's like we have to play around with it and get a little creative. So yeah, but it's like I got tons of different maps, but each map, maybe I'm cutting here three inches, another one over here, I'm cutting 4 inches, leaving it a little bit higher there, or maybe I want a diamond cut here or a parallel cut there, or, you name it, spiral cut, whatever. So yeah, it's kind of fun, like you just, each area is like your own little individual, you're grooming your kid, it's like a kid, that's like this area is this, and this area is this, and these are the rules for this kid, and these are the rules for that kid, and, you're setting things up. So I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. I think it's one of the fun parts of the process, but it's also, it's kind of like the way you're involved with the Yarbo, because once it's set up, it's just does it on its own, So it's like, that's like one of the times when you're actually physically, you're involved with the Yarbo. And then once that's all set up and mapped out, it's gone, So I don't know, how much maintenance do you guys do on your Yarbos? Like, what do you do for maintenance wise? How often are you guys changing blades? Are you guys, just greasing up tracks and doing all that stuff? What's your maintenance routine look like on the Yarbo?
Well, I mean, early in the year, we were having a ton of rain, and I felt like the blades would get almost gummed up. So I was trying to deal with that a little bit, like either washing them off or changing them almost weekly or bi-weekly. At this point, with things drier, it doesn't seem to be the same issue. So every couple of weeks, and then a little bit of grab a leaf blower and blow off the grass. Sometimes it's a quick rinse, but I would say once a week I check it over thoroughly after a mow. Just take a quick look at it, check it underneath, and then maybe once a month do a quick or a thorough go over it with grease and that kind of stuff.
I guess I'm more abusive than you are. You're doing it the right way. My Cub Cadet 42-inch out there, I've owned that thing for 3 or 4 years. I've never sharpened the blade, so I'm abusive, I admit it. The Yarbo, I will either swap the discs left to right, or every other time change the blades. And I'll do that when I begin to realize it's not cutting as well as it used to. And so I push them longer than I should. And you're doing it the right way. The tracks, I do grease those every month and a half to 2 months, especially when it's brand new. While it's getting broken in, I ensured that I greased it frequently. But now that I have so many hours on both machines, every month and a half maybe, is if I have to do some work on it, I'll ensure it's all clean and greased. Leaf blower, fantastic. That's what I use too, to blow all the cruft out of there. Does a good job.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I didn't think about that. Like, it's so much easier to get under the deck of a Yarbo than it is like a regular lawnmower, or as far as it's literally just click off the module, tilt it up, and then you're underneath it, so it makes it a lot easier. Have you noticed that with the Pro then too? Like, have you noticed less buildup under your lawn, under your deck, of the Pro?
Definitely right now, because it's drier, like Will said. I haven't had an opportunity to use the Pro yet with a wet lawn. So we'll see what happens with a wet lawn. Will, you have a Pro as well, correct?
I do not. No.
You do not. Okay. Yeah, I've had very minimal grass buildup on the Pro deck in our current conditions because it's so dry. And they've greatly improved the blade guard, and where it had that rectangular metal plate before that holds the blade guard on the side, there's a much better open design now that will help prevent grass buildup.
Nice.
Yeah. And Ken, has the so from the prototype that I'm using on the Pro, has the blades changed much from that prototype? I don't know if you want to give away too much, but just like, have we changed it up a little bit from the original prototype that we're using as far as the blades?
Yeah, they've gone through at least 6 or 8 revisions. The PPP, I believe, have the latest now, which is shipping with the unit. But yeah, I don't know if you remember, we were actually running pretty flat blades for a time there. So yeah, they've gone through a ton of iterations for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I had to take them off a couple weeks ago because I don't have any backup blades, and I could tell I just beat it up so bad that they needed to be sharpened. So I was like, I just took them off. I saw the guys working with a grinder in the.
I was gonna say, I saw some of the stuff you went through with the Pro.
Yeah. And he was like, I mean, because I was going through, like, we were cutting through, like, we were intentionally driving it over sticks, and we even had, I'm sure it hit some rocks, it hit some crazy stuff. Yeah. I got about, probably though, in that whole time, I think I got the warning 3 or 4 times that, okay, you got something wedged up in there, like you definitely ran over something that's so big. And like I said, another great thing about the app, it tells you, hey, you ran over something, there's something wedged up in there, so, and it gives you the warning exactly where it is, so you know where the problem persists. But yeah, definitely, I took it over some things. Let's say I went off-roading with it a few times too. So, but the benefit of working in a warehouse where I have multiple units, so it's like, but yeah, they don't even just hand them out to me, so nobody thinks I'm just getting them either. So, we're gonna keep going with this roundtable. Just want to remind everybody real quick about the Yarbo 5-year pledge. We're sticking that on to all orders right now through August 31st, or the first 500 orders. That's the Yarbo 5-year pledge. So it's a 5-year worry-free warranty that's going to come with your Yarbo, best in class, best in the business. So you want to get those orders in because they are limited, and once those run out, that's it. We can't do any more. And then leave your comments here, because at the end I'm going to give away this little mini Yarbo right here. So I really don't want to, because I kind of want it myself. But we're going to give one away anyways for one of the lucky people. So appreciate it. And let's keep going with this discussion. Excuse me. Let me see where we're at with the roundtable discussion. We kind of answered that one. I said, are there any particular components that need regular cleaning? We kind of just talked about that. The blades under the deck a little bit here and there, depending on. It does. I will say I cut in the rain a lot, and I did not get. You don't get the buildup like a regular lawnmower does. My old handheld Toro, whatever. Not that thing was just crazy. I'm gonna choke real quick. So yeah, we talked about that. We always talk about based on your experience. But yeah, what are some of the features that you guys are really looking forward to down the road here with Yarbo?
I'll let you guys go first.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the trimmer. I know that's one thing I still have to go out manually and do the cleanup with the edging and the trimmer. So I think that's one of the things that excites me in the coming months of what's coming out.
I'm curious about the public end trip. I know that's still a future. It may be coming, and that's something I'm hoping will come back out. It will basically replace the RTK portion of the connection, but you'll still have the halo in place. So there'll still be a halo link. But I'm a tech guy, so I want to play with that.
For sure. Yeah. No, actually, both those things are very exciting. N-Trip, public N-Trip, I've been a fan of for a long time, and the trimmer, I can't wait to get that in people's hands. For sure. That's going to be super exciting. It was almost like with the snowblower. Don't get me wrong, the lawnmower was fun, but the snowblower was a kind of category first. To me, the trimmer is the same thing. So that's going to be really, really exciting.
I got to say, there's no better feeling than waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of January and just hearing that little roar in the background, you know? And I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning as well. Yeah, I'm a 60-something-year-old. Yeah, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And to hear the Yarbo out there clearing my driveway for me is so nice.
Agreed. I was going to say, you could say it can't. Our bladder wakes us up at 3 or 4 in the morning, usually at our, So
bladder. I was talking about my cat. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I was like, I can't remember the last time I slept through a whole night. I look at I have one of those smart rings on that, it's like you woke up 5 times last night. I was like, I did? I didn't, my wife was laughing last night. She goes, did that say that you fell asleep on the couch at 9 last night? And I was like, I looked at my app. I was like, I guess I did. I was spent though. I traveled back from New York, and then I really just couldn't get caught back up. I was just doing so much stuff. And next weekend I got, thankfully, like I said, I got the Yarbo to save me time. But next weekend I got to paint a fence outside. But I've been waiting, like you guys. I don't know about you, but it's been for about a month and a half. It's been really hot. I think I saw it wasn't like record breaking temperatures, but it was like for the last month or plus, we were I can't remember how many degrees over, just like our daily average, and then it was fine, and then the rain stopped for a minute, and then everything turned brown, as far as the grass, you cut anything off of it and it's just dry. So finally this weekend though, we did get obviously with the storms I was talking about earlier, we did get some rain, so the grass is looking good. I'm looking forward to it. If I'm going to go out and do lives this week, I want it to it's got to start looking a little bit better, but I'll have the leaf blower on there probably in a month, when the leaves start coming down here. And I can't believe it. I was watching, that we're all into fall, and then we're going to be prepping for the winter, and we're going to have the snow blowers on pretty soon. And our, these live discussions are all going to be about snow blowing and snow plowing. So I'm excited about that. I swear I didn't hear Ken talking about any plow blades or any inside stuff the other day when I was in the office. I thought I heard you giving up some inside stuff. I don't know about the snowblower or something. I was trying to listen in. Anytime I'm around Ken, I try to listen in to see what he's like, if he gives me any secrets about what. Yeah, he's like the Victor Frankenstein, or he's creating the monsters right now. But so what time is it? Almost 2 o'clock. We're gonna get to the Q&A here in just a couple minutes, and then we'll be doing, like I said, when the Q&A is done, we're gonna do the giveaway for the mini Yarbo. And obviously, like I said, with the 5-year plan we're talking about too, so the 5-year warranty plan that we introduced on Friday, so that was all good. So now that I'm no longer choking, I think we can start getting in, just kind of meld this right into the Q&A. There's some good questions out there. If you haven't submitted them yet, submit them. I'm going to try to proofread them and read them at the same time. That way, it's like I'm like the anchor man. I know Kathy's like, he just reads whatever's on the thing. So he can't, there's no comprehension there. It's just read it. Let me see. Hi, I currently have a Yarbo. Well, thank you. And mower. And I want to buy the snowblower. Will an updated snowblower be available this season like the mower? Would like to know if I should buy this model or an expected upgrade in the near future. That would probably be for Mr. Ken Coleman there. As far as I don't know what you like. I mean, I love our snowblower, by the way. And if you can get it right now at a great price, I would buy that snowblower in a heartbeat. So yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any plans for any massive update of the snowblower.
Yeah, and definitely you're definitely going to want that. If you do have the Yarbo, you do have the mower, and you do live in a place where there's a ton of snow, you're going to definitely want the snowblower in your repertoire. it's going to be a game changer. Like Kent was saying, 3 a.m. while you're nice and cozy inside, that thing's out there working. I know when we were at that SEMA convention up in Grand Rapids, how many contractors. I mean, it was just boom, boom, boom. It was all contractors that kept coming up, and that was the big thing with them. When can we have a fleet of these things? Like all of them, and obviously then that would involve like the end trip. Weren't they?
Yeah.
And they said that's and honestly, that's the hardest part. They said for them is just keeping people employed, because nobody, and that's homeowners too. Nobody wants to be out shoveling in the middle of the night during a polar vortex, and you got snow all over the place, so that's definitely where one of the places Yarbo shines.
And I will say this, I mean, when we went from the 23 to the 24 version, we changed to a steel chute. We had binocular cameras in the front. There were significant changes there. But no, I mean, we don't have anything on the horizon like that. So
cool. Yeah. So buy it, put it in the cart, buy it. You definitely want to get it before the snow season hits. Get those tracks on sometime in November, because or sometimes here in October, late October, we get. I remember a couple years ago on Halloween, we were out trick or treating, and like 6 inches of snow. It was one of the best times I've ever had. My kids just loved it. We all loved it. We always had that joke, like, where you're a kid at Halloween in in Michigan. Well, you can't be Spider-Man. You always got to be Spider-Man with a jacket, because it could be cold, So, yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, I have Mower Pro on order to replace the regular mower. When are the Mower Pros expected to be shipped? That's a big question we get all the time, and I think Ken answered that a little bit on Friday. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, they're still expected to ship at the end of this month.
Okay, sounds great. How far have we gotten with releasing the tow mode?
That's a great question. So we are very, very close to releasing tow mode. We actually had a version we were going to release to the PPP group, but we had to pull it back. Actually, I wouldn't even say pull it back. We just delayed it because we had to make some other changes on the mower side of things, because most people were using the mower and there were some improvements there that we had to do. So it was more of a resource thing. I'm hoping that we can release it next month, because I know people do want to tow leaf sweepers and things like that if they don't have the blower. So we will work very, very hard to do that for sure. If anything, it could be released in a beta that we improve after that, but at least getting the basic, tow mode to tow different types of implements for sure.
Yeah, that seems to be like a popular one that everybody wants to use, because you really want that full functionality, the autonomous, functionality of the Yarbo. I know
Absolutely.
I've tested it out. Yeah, I tested one of the versions you guys had out there. So and it worked great, like where I tested it out. But I guess that was a couple months ago. So they must be working hard on it still.
So we had to make a couple of like really big code changes, which made that version, so to speak, obsolete. So we have to update that. That's all. So it's not a big to do. It's just we had like Dead Reckoning and some other things come in front of it. But we will get that out, because I know, myself included, a lot of people, really want to use that, and it's very useful. So.
Yeah, and then that brings into the ball game. That brings in, some of the different attachments. Especially with fall coming around the corner. You can do some aerating, some seeding, some dethatching, some. Brings in your spreaders. You can send it out with a spreader. You can do all that kind of fun stuff. So it definitely brings a new skill set, I should say, to the thing. So, I saw some people do this. We did talk about this the other day too. This is like more of a hardware type of issue, but it seems to be a big request for flexible antennas. So
we showed that off in Friday's live. The video of the actual flexible antennas. I believe you'll be able to. I believe they'll be available next month, but we do have to confirm that. And we actually have a list from Friday that was on it to confirm when they will be available. I believe next month, but I definitely want to confirm that before we say that's final.
These are the on-unit RTK antennas that, like, the flex. Is that what they're looking for with the flexible antennas for the RTK ones, right? Like, or
yeah, correct. So we could. Yeah, correct. So we could have them on our website to purchase if you want to get the flexible ones.
Yeah, I've
I
seen some
really
pretty
like them. They're
creative.
nice.
Oh yeah, you seen them, Kat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I saw some people trying to work up some prototypes online too. Just wait, we'll get you them. We'll get you them. Don't. Yeah, don't mess with your warranties. By tinkering with too much stuff on your Yarbo. And then so this one's and I saw this question go online as well. Expected times for the next update. I software update. I assume they're talking about so the software updates. When's the next one expected? Do you know?
In about 2 weeks. So the end of August, beginning of August, about 2 weeks from now.
And somebody just asked, is there any chance of a fitted cover for the M1 and mower connection? I don't know what that, like a fitted cover just for the module itself. I know there's those.
That we have. We have one for the body. Do they? Oh, maybe they mean one for the entire unit.
Yeah.
We don't have one for the entire unit. But I don't know that I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't recommend leaving the lawnmower module outside in the freezing elements.
Yeah.
Bring them. Yeah, bring them in for sure. The mower. I'm sorry. If you're going to be in a snowy area. Other than that, I mean, we can look into making a full cover.
Yeah.
The reason why we make the individual ones is we just never know what module you're going to have, right? That affects the overall length.
Yeah, Will and Kent, where do you guys keep your Yarbos at? Do you keep them do you keep them covered? Do you keep them just side of the house, patios, or where are you guys keeping your Yarbos?
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay. I'm abusive. Will's probably nicer than I am. My two systems are, he's smiling. My two systems sit on their charge docks, which are on top of pieces of plywood on my lawn, and I'm on a hill, so I put them in about the flattest spot I have. And they're also partially covered by some trees and probably too close to my house. And there's a decorative light pole in between the two of them. So not an ideal installation by any means. In general, though, I have no problems with them. And it's out there in the weather. Spare components I keep on a shelf in my garage.
Yeah, I just have mine. My dock is right next to my driveway, about 7 feet from the house, to eliminate that signal issue. But no covers or anything, and never had any issues. The location of my house in relation to the afternoon sun is kind of nice though, because it gives it some afternoon shade from that scorching heat, gives it a break when it's charging. But otherwise, it stays out. And like Ken said, I have a rack of all things Yarbo in the garage for the off-season stuff.
Right.
All right, this one's from David. Would love to be a part of a future discussion. Well, we'd love to have you, David. Said thank you for doing this. Thank you. Looking forward to receiving the Pro Mower after using the first version most of the summer. I said your customer support's been excellent. He's like, I wonder if in the future there would be a capability to design your own mowing pattern within the boundary that is set up. I have some irregular areas in Yarbo, keeps getting confused and goes back and forth until I have to disable the work plan and take over. Yeah, I could see that where if you have that little corner, that little tight area where Yarbo's kind of working in a different pattern and stuff like that. I don't know. Is that something you've thought about, Ken, too, as far as being able to kind of create your own pattern and type of thing or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a narrow area that he's talking about, dead ends are a good solution there. We are trying to make them more intelligent so that the user doesn't necessarily have to choose dead end. If you have a narrow area, we can tell that because we know the measurements of Yarbo and we know the measurements of the map, and optimize it so Yarbo will just use the best algorithm, so to speak, for the area. But I think as Will and Kent mentioned, on the surface, we have defaults for everything, right? But we really allow a lot of granular customization. So wherever we can do that to help, we absolutely will. So that's one of the things we are working on constantly is improved path planning, even above and beyond what it is now. That includes, regular path planning. So if you have no-go zones or just oddly shaped areas, actually a good example of that, Kent, your kind of circle that you have,
Yes.
right? In the beginning, when we launched the 2023, we couldn't do circular areas
Right.
efficiently. It would go back and forth sideways along the whole, the whole circle. Took a long time. And so he was one of the first ones to test the circular, configuration. So yeah, we are always looking, for edge cases and ways to improve it for sure.
Sounds good. All right. I think maybe somebody, I don't know if somebody had a picture with this one, so I apologize.
What's that?
Yeah, I just don't understand this question, so I'm going to move on just because I'll butcher it.
What number is that? I might have
number 9. It's from Alejandro. It says, when does this get deployed? Trying to map between houses.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. So maybe I'm just lost at what he's referring to. So
I think he's probably, I'm gonna guess he's talking about Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
Because he
Okay.
says trying to map between the houses. So maybe he gets a low signal between the houses. So that would be in that that update coming in 2 weeks would have Dead Reckoning.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. What is your, like? I don't want to put you on the spot here.
Go for it.
Do you feel like the N-Trip is going to be a solution shortly down the road for like a lot of autonomous, not just not just Yarbo, but do you feel like that's kind of the future, or because I know there probably was decisions that had to be made when Yarbo first came out versus the data center and an N-Trip like that, and then obviously the data center kind of won out at that moment. So
Yeah, and that's a good point. And we haven't really talked about this in detail before, but I can go into it a little bit now, just so people know what to expect. So we are very close to launching N-Trip. We are very close to as well launching the ability to view the cameras while you're operating it and have two-way audio. The thing with public N-Trip is we really wanted to launch it so that you could use the free public N-Trip network. The problem with that becomes, and I'll just take New York because I'm part of that network. I'm sure Kent, you might be too.
Yep.
And if you think of like free email service, so think of Gmail, right? You get a free email account. Well, if Gmail goes down, there's no service level agreement, right? So it could be down for an hour, it could be down for a day, it could be down for 2 days, but they don't owe you anything. There's no responsibility to keep an uptime. Last I had checked, this was about a month ago, and for 2 weeks there was 3 base stations that were down in the free New York public N-Trip network, and there's not enough redundancy to keep that area up. So what we decided to do was to research different providers for N-Trip and offer like a low-cost subscription that would include N-Trip and video streaming, two-way audio. So you'd be able to stream while the unit's operating, and you'd also have two-way audio. So you can hear what's going on, and you can talk through the microphone on your phone and hear it on the other end of Yarbo. And I say that inexpensive because it's not made to be a profit center, right? It's made to make it easier for people to take advantage of this technology. So that's what we're working on. In the next month or 2, I would expect that to launch for sure. Just to give you a general time frame.
Cool. Yeah, that comes up quite a bit. Like when I'm doing live streams, or people are kind of asking about that. And then it seems like with so many of our online communities, you'll kind of hear the rumblings coming before something, like somebody gets some inside information, or you'll start to hear these rumblings, and I'm usually like, what did they talk? Like what? Like no. I mean, if anybody watches these, I'm not on. So
we'll have a dedicated event to this for sure, because we also want to educate people on why they may want to use a data center, why they may not. Public N-Trip is not available in all locations. Just like with the free public N-Trip, some states don't offer it at all. But the problem in offering free public N-Trip services is they are not all uniform. some states use the same public N-trip, some use completely different protocols and ways to communicate with them. But the bigger deal being, there's no way for us to control the customer support experience, the after-sales support experience, right? So if you have something go down on public N-trip and we have no connection to that public N-trip, that really makes a nightmare, right? Where people could very easily get frustrated with Yarbo for something that is free and again has no service level, so they have no reason. And the reason I can actually say this is 3 of those base stations going down for 2 or 3 weeks. There is no rush. It's actually a tweet that goes out and says, "Hey, we're aware we're getting reports that this base station is down. We'll let you know when it's back up." But there is no timeline typically on when it will be back up, unless it's something like they're rebooting it and they're hoping that solves the problem. But
is the technology though on par? I mean, is it pretty much the same as far as like how the RTK and everything can get you to like that centimeter like type of is it
yes,
the same pretty much?
Yeah, as long as you're in an area with coverage, yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, this is all new. This is all contrary to what you guys think. They don't pass this stuff by me first. Like, I'm not the tech guy. I'm just I'm the they're not like I think people.
But we will train you on it when the time comes for sure.
Exactly. Right? I'm on a like they say, I'm on a need to know basis. So and then definitely like you don't let the guy who has to sit here and talk for 2 hours in on anything you don't want out there. Because chances are.
Why? Then you can just explain it.
Yeah, I'll blab and get it something and be like, no, we're not. No, that was 3 years away. What are you doing? Okay, here's a question about follow me mode. I know a lot of people have questions about the follow me mode, as far as like, especially, definitely with like leaf blower season coming up. We do have the hose attachment with the blower as well. It said, for follow me mode, is it connected via the Bluetooth phone or RTK? And can I have follow me mode going over to my neighbor's house to pick something up without being in antenna range?
Sure. So, follow me mode doesn't use GPS. You do need either Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi Halo. So I don't know if they're a current owner or not. If they are a current owner, then they could do it over Wi-Fi, but it's not Bluetooth. Bluetooth doesn't have enough bandwidth for that, because it shows you like a real-time display of what it's seeing while it's following you. But as long as they have the data center set up, that's all they need. Or if they're Wi-Fi, we'll get them across the street, and they know the easiest thing to do is just have the data center set up, because as far as being in range of even the data center, that's going to probably last a lot longer than they'll want to walk with even Yarbo following them. You know what I mean? As far as the range of Wi-Fi Halo, it's acres and acres and acres. So, so I think they would be just fine. What do you guys think? The range, Ken, Will?
It depends. My data center is poorly installed. Is near my rain gutter, so my halo range into my backyard is not as good as it should be due to a bad installation. But out the front, it is excessive, and I wouldn't want to try to outwalk it.
Yeah, I'm in practical range. I am on the other side of my neighbor's house, and I still have range, so it goes very far, and when it's set up, yes.
Yeah, so I guess the question, neighbor's house, right, and how far it's going is relative. So, that's probably a question for him, right? So if you're within a couple of acres, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I also heard that's another thing, rumblings here talking about how, the follow me mode will connect via your phone that you have in your pocket by a Bluetooth down the road or something like that, as far as like, because right now it goes off vision and right? It goes off vision, the follow me mode, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And then if something else catches its vision, it'll turn off here. Like I remember the first time testing it off at the office. I think you guys were here, and it was like they were training me on it. So the Yarbo's following me, but then like 3 or 4 people walked by, and it kind of was like, it was like So it was like it just kind of quick.
Yeah. So the next step, right? So what it does right now is it follows the closest person to it. the next step to that is to follow you specifically and lock onto you, so that if someone else comes into frame, it will not follow them. So that'll be, kind of the next update to it.
One
Yeah, I
thing I
was using
like
the lead.
about it,
Yeah.
it
What'd
has
you
a
say? Oh.
it has a reasonable width of the field of view it follows. So it's easy enough to deliberately step to the side out of the line of vision so that as you're walking around picking up sticks, it's not spinning around trying to follow you. You know, you
Right.
step directly in front of it, it'll follow you. Step off to the side, it's just going to sit and wait.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's true. Otherwise, it would follow you kind of obnoxiously. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
puppy
The other
dog
thing we
nipping at your
eventually
heels.
do. Yeah, exactly. The other thing we do want to work into it is just simple gestures, so that you don't, always need the phone as well. So we'll get there, but that's all software optimization, and the vision model that we use.
So we said, I need a way to have Yarbo parked at a predetermined spot when it's finished in a fenced-in area. I mean, could you do that with
Yes.
I don't.
We so that, it's funny. I was just talking to a developer and our UI designer about that yesterday. So again, that was something that we had planned. We just had to push that feature, further back on the roadmap, but we are getting back to working on that. So basically, like if you had a predetermined spot, so let's say you have a pathway from your front yard to the backyard, and on that pathway you want to put a stop and wait area, right where your gate is. So you have to confirm whether or not Yarbo can go past there. We're looking at different ways to implement that. If you encounter an obstacle on the path, do you want Yarbo to try and go around it, or do you want to wait, for further instructions to say it can go forward? So we know that gates are fenced off front yard, backyards, are a pain point for a ton of, autonomous robots. So we are definitely looking to address that for sure.
Yeah, and with the trimmer attachment, I missed this question. Question 11. Would it be possible to set it up for trimming only and minimize the main areas being cut? So can you just have the trimmer running without the lawnmower running?
Yes. Yeah. So so now we have another version. And have you tested path memory?
I started to today. My trimmer was offline for a while due to a problem I had, so I've not gotten as far with the testing as others have.
Okay. All right. So there's a couple of different ways to set up the trimmer, but to answer his question, yes, you can actually attach the trimmer with the lawnmower and do something called path memory. Path memory is basically what you see is what you get, where you can drive and make a separate path that you want Yarbo to drive to and trim, and it will follow your inputs. And that's really good for small round objects, 90-degree corners, because you can make smooth turns and you can back into areas that would be really difficult from an algorithm standpoint. We will get there, but from an algorithm standpoint, for it to handle completely on its own. So that's pretty neat. The other thing that you can do is it's also compatible with not only the mower, but the Smart Assist module. And the Smart Assist module is very short. So it doesn't have this long area of the mower sticking out. So if you have, really tight areas to get into, maybe a small yard or just, really confined areas of the yard, that's another good thing that you can use. And with the path memory, the cool part about that is it's independent of areas. So you can have a plan that does the area first and then does the path memory, which executes the trimming separately in a separate order. You can have a separate plan where maybe once a week you trim and every 2 days you mow, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot of different ways to approach that for sure. But just in short, yes, you can trim only if you want.
Yeah, and if you have not yet, just make sure if you are a Yarbo user that you check your email, because we did send out an email about the trimmer, and then right now you get to choose. You can choose if you want it delivered here, excuse me, like late fall or in the spring. So obviously, depending on where you're at where you're at with the climate, maybe you don't need the trimmer for a couple months or something like that. So probably better to go like, oh, I'll just take it in the spring, that way I don't have to store it all winter. But if you want it and by all means, you can put it in too. So just check your email. I think by now most of you have probably done that. So, but there's always some stragglers who maybe just aren't checking email anymore. And right before, I think I'm gonna have Kathy do a drawing here shortly for the Yarbo Mini, because we want to give this away. She's in the office. Is she in the office with you today, Ken, in New York?
She is.
Yeah, so yeah, if you want it, Kathy, you can just bring it to Ken, or you can come on and announce it, because everybody loves seeing Kathy for some reason, way more than they like seeing Ken and I on these things. That's usually just the way it goes in life in general. I don't blame him, I don't blame anyone. Or Ken and I, we got like the faces for podcasts or something. We should be on the
It's true.
So, yeah. So yeah, and then also
understandable.
Oh, there she is. Sure. Yeah, one of them was just about the Yarbo minis, and yes, you can order these. You can go to yarbo.com, go to the accessory page, and you can find where you can order these. I got a few in the office over here, in our office here. I'm sure there's some stocked away somewhere else that I don't know about. So yeah, you can go there and do that. And then somebody asked the same thing. We kind of talked about this. What's the process of loading the trimmer? Does it pull from a spool? Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it pulls from a spool. It's 0.06 millimeters, I think. And what do you call it? Yeah, you can either buy the spools that are, pre-spooled with line, or you can get your own line and wind it. You just want to make sure that you wind it in the correct way so that you don't overlap the line, just like any trimmer. So, yep. And then the other thing is there's that little maintenance tool, right? So you can take the trimmer, flip it up, put the maintenance tool in it. That'll hold it up. Or, I mean, honestly, I probably would find easier is we have those quick release pins.
Yeah.
So you just pop out the quick release pins, pop the trimmer off. It's just 2 quick release pins, no tools, and a twist connector. And that actually came from the PPP group as well. We used to have 2 screws that went into the top to attach the trimmer. But for that, you need an Allen key. It's annoying. So these are just 2 pull pins, no tools, and it's off. So.
Yeah, somebody's asking. They say they mowing a football pitch. Could we have more flexibility to produce wide stripes like on a typical professional football pitch? I don't know how. Can you get like that much wider than the deck itself? Just being a 20-inch width deck. I mean, as far as like wider stripes on like a pitch.
Yeah, I think someone else can chime in here if they know more about this than me, but I think that would have to come with like a dedicated like striper, like a roller for the back where we could lift it up and lower it. We have talked about that before. Honestly, though, the M1, when you set the front module to loose, it kind of sits the back rubber flap of the mowing deck a little bit lower, and it leaves pretty nice stripes. So, I mean, yes, it's a possibility. If we can address it through software, then definitely. But we'd have to look into it. Kent, Will, I don't know if you guys, I know what he means. He's meaning wider stripes.
Personally,
right?
I love the pattern that the mowers already leave on my lawn. And, it's a 20-inch pattern, and you can see the track a bit. I think it looks great. But what they do on football pitches, baseball fields can be spectacular, and that can be complex.
Yeah, you'd have to go like line by line, and you'd almost have to skip the next line, come back, and then drive the same way. I mean, you could possibly do it through, but if you don't have a roll, like an actual striping kit on the back, it's probably not going to look right because you're probably going to see a track mark. So even though you're going the same direction as the previous stripe. So could we do it in the future? Yeah. I mean, actually, it's funny. I know that he says sports football. I don't know if he's talking about actually American football or he's talking about.
He said pitch, so I assume soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was going to say they usually leave much wider lines. So I can understand that. We've actually had that request before. And if there is enough demand, we will make simple roller on the back that attaches to the BBM, the back brace mount with a little linear module that can just raise it up and down to make those uniform stripes. But yeah, good question. We will look into it.
Yeah, and this guy, just a comment from somebody who said that he used the follow me mode 4 miles away from the data center. So he was able to use his follow me mode 4 miles away from the data center. I'm like, how'd you get? Yeah, how'd you get home? That's what I want to know. How'd you get? Yeah.
Hey, you know what I was just thinking for that person? If they were really far away, then they could probably set their mobile hotspot up and connect Yarbo to their mobile phone's hotspot, and then they could use follow me mode. So that would be a workaround if they wanted to, and they were out of range of, Wi-Fi Halo or traditional Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and then one more thing, I think a lot of people about the trimmer want to know, will there be a difference in the trimmer that will ship at the end of 2025 here, or that'll ship out next year? Is it this going to be the same trimmer in the
same? Same trimmer.
Okay,
but there could be a difference in their warranty date. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's 100% correct, and that yeah, great point, Ken. And that's really, I think, where a lot of people are making their decisions. So obviously when you when you get the trimmer, that's when your warranty starts. So if you are not going to trim until May and you'd rather wait till then to get the unit, to the springtime, I totally get that. If, like me, I don't have patience and I would want to try it out. I mean, for the trimmer, for me, this would be any piece of new technology, at least with the trimmer. I feel like even if I got it in November, I can still go out. I can make sure that, it works well, because I don't have snow on the ground here in November. We start maybe like the end of December as our chances, other than maybe a dusting. But I could still tell that it's working, right? But again, like, now if this is my wife, she's more cautious. She would be like, you know what? That's ridiculous. Like, I'm waiting until the springtime. I'm not going to lose, those months in warranty. So it's really whatever people are comfortable with. We wanted to give them options because some people are really anxious to get it. And then obviously some people are not seasonal and they maybe live in Florida where they could use it, in November, December. They don't have a winter.
All right, so I think it's about that time to do the giveaway reminder, though, about the warranty real quick, that we were just talking about the Yarbo Care. It's limited to 500 units, so you're going to want to definitely go to Yarbo. Only available at yarbo.com as well, not the units. We're not talking Amazon units, anything like that. So you got to go to yarbo.com. First 500 ordered will get the 5-year care package absolutely free from Yarbo. So that's awesome. But yeah, that's what we wanted to let you guys know that. Definitely remind you that. I'll probably be talking till I'm blue in the face about it on the live streams for the next couple of days until we hit that magic number. We'll be talking about it as well. So definitely want to do that. And then now I think Kathy's going to do the drawing for the giveaway for the Yarbo Mini.
Let's do it.
Been ready for this for an hour and a half, man. This is the only reason I showed up today was for this giveaway. So yeah, let's do it.
What about the free tea?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh, they're making me fat. What was the last name on that? Did you say Reed? Yep, Sean Reed. So Sean Reed, if you're out there, congratulations. You get a Yarbo Mini. Just could be this one. They might come in the office, snatch it out of my hands, and ship it right to you. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, so Kent and Will, guys, you guys were great today. Appreciate it. You guys coming in. We're looking forward to you guys testing out some of our other stuff down the road and hearing all about your Yarbo. We'll definitely have to have you guys back for another roundtable. You guys are great. And definitely want to see how your experience evolves, and now that you get to play with some more toys here and there down the road. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, Ken, thanks for showing up today, bringing the A game, and Kathy, as always. And we'll be back this week with some more live streams. We'll be doing some demos, and make sure you follow us on social media. And we'll talk to you guys real soon.